then there's something wrong with you. You're certainly not very good.
So the elusive spell hunter. I wanted to do a bit of a deep dive because I feel like Rexar really deserves to have a little magic in his life. So I've done a really deep dive into this. I did about a 42-minute video, which I'm going to edit down to about 30 minutes. That gets really deep into the weeds on every pick, but I just want to do a little TLDR right now to give you guys a sense of what we're dealing with to make this deck. So first, your 1-drops suck. You don't want to do any of them on turn 1, basically. On the Hunt is good to counter aggression if you're going on turn 2, but you never want to hit it in the face. Hunter's Mark, good removal and tracking. You can hunt for your turn 2 and turn 3 plays, because those are weak as well. On turn 2, we have a couple completely useless spells. Now, Flare and Toxic Arrow are pretty self-explanatory. Grievous Bite, there aren't many minions that it makes a big difference to have 2 damage and then 1 damage as well. So maybe someday there'll be a use for it, but I don't think it's this day. Then we come to the traps. There are quite a few traps which it doesn't really do anything to play on turn 2 besides trick the person, make them have to test for lots of different things. Venom Strike is okay if you get if you on the hunt early. Then you can play a Venom Strike, and hopefully they don't just ping your minion. Hopefully they actually attack into it, and then you get a 2/3 with poison. Not bad. Misdirection and Freezing Trap. They're both better later in the game. Not really good as 2-drops. Freezing Trap, you'll just get patches. Misdirection, like it'll make a minion just hit the other player in the face, which 1 to 4 damage doesn't really move the needle that much. So Misdirection can be good on a full board because then it's likely going to hit another minion that will kill it, or it will kill, and that's really great. But I still wouldn't run Misdirection. Now, out of these, Explosive Trap, Snipe, and Snake Trap. Snake Trap is the same as Venom Strike Trap, but I think 1/1 snakes are less valuable than a 2/3 with poison. Explosive Trap counters aggression to some level. It's not the worst thing to hold. So Catterick. It is probably your second best 2-drop. It is not that great as a 2-drop though. For one thing, it's really easy to play around. For another thing, it's a 4/2. 4/2s can't usually get multiple trades. It has stealth, so you can buff it if you're playing any other type of hunter, but since you don't have any buffs, it's just a 4/2. It will let you trade up, it will let you do 4 face damage, but it won't really drastically allow you to retake the board. Wandering Monster, lots of variants. There's a tremendous amount of good results and quite a few bad results. So I wanted to look a bit deeper into them, into the 146 3-drops that you can get, and I took a look. Alarmabot obviously is useless. Blubber Baron, I think there's more than one at 3 mana, so getting those will suck. Humongous Razor Leaf actually doesn't do anything. So those are the bad results, but the worst result has to be the Howl Fiend. Howl Fiend can lose you the game. It doesn't automatically mean you lose the game. Sometimes you'll even get value out of Howl Fiend, but generally it's a really bad card to get. And we will see some highlights of Howl Fiend in the first week. I guarantee being pulled off Wandering Monster. Now, average results are 3 3s, 3 4s, and 4 3s. There's about 36 or 37 of these. You're most likely to get a minion with this stat line, and it's going to do really well for you. 2 mana, 3 3s, 3 4s. 3 4s especially. 2 mana, 3 4s are really strong. The good results are things like Flappy Bird and Shaku and Unlicensed Apothecary, where Flappy Bird and Shaku can snowball by giving you additional value and just by getting Wind Fury and smashing the guy in the face over and over. An Unlicensed Apothecary is going to take a couple dudes to kill, to be killed. The issue with Unlicensed Apothecary and why it's not insane is because this deck you could have a Venom Strike potion down, or a Venom Strike card down, as well as a Catterick, and then your opponent could proc them both immediately after the Unlicensed Apothecary comes out, and you take 10 damage. Let alone if you play Snake Trap. So Unlicensed Apothecary, though it's super strong, it's not the insane cards like we have coming up. Now here are the walls. The Tar Creeper, which everyone knows and loves. Felguard, much better Tar Creeper. Crypt Lord, which can get nuts with this deck since there's so many ways to summon many minions fast. And then Drakari Defender, which might be the best. No, there's no way it's the best. We have a better one. But it's definitely up there. Definitely top 3 for the fact that it could just win you the game coming out on turn 2. Like, it'll be wild. Now the insane ones, 3 mana, 4/7. Like bonkers. There's a reason why there was a deck built around reviving injured Roble Masters. It's because it's wild how much stats you get for that cost. King Mukla, similarly, just a bag of stats. Like, it's great. Cloaked Huntress, you have a ton of secrets. If you can play them all for free on your next turn, it'll be hard to deal with. So any of these will likely lead to you winning the game. But the real way to win the game is from our friend here. Coming in with a Beast tag, a Taunt from the classic set. It's a Silverback Patriarch. Possibly the strongest minion in the game. Will lead to many insta-concedes. And it deserves every single one of them. This is the how we know power creep isn't a thing, because Silverback Patriarch is still the best. Moving right along to Unleash the Hounds, which you'll never want to play on turn 3. Well, you don't never. There's going to be situations where you can have like a god tier Unleash the Hounds, but generally, when you mulligan your hand, you don't pick an Unleash the Hounds and go, I want to play this. It's used later, and that's why I put 1 Infest in my list, is because Unleash the Hounds Infest will give you so much value, will let you play actual minions onto the board instead of having spells summon the minions. So that's pretty cool. As well as it gives you some really nice high roll potential. Kill Command I cut from the deck because I think you're so far behind on turn 1 and 2 and 3 generally that you're not going to be burning people down. For removal, it's fine, but there's a better deal 3 damage coming up. And as face damage, I just don't think that's the game plan with this deck. Deadly Shot, I think you need to run it. Like I said, you're going to be so far behind on board. You need ways to catch up and deal with the large minions that will inevitably be coming your way. Then Multishot. It's too inconsistent. There'll be too many wide boards where this is useless against. There'll be too many, if you get it after turn 6, it's essentially do nothing for a turn. So multi-shot I would never use. There's a reason why I made it this small. But there's also a reason why I made it Flanking Strike this big. Because I think Flanking Strike is ridiculous. I think it's going to be in every Hunter list that is played for the next little while. It's a strictly better Fireplume Phoenix. It has the Beast tag, so it's going to be in all the mid-range Hunters. And this is the turn where this deck finally has a chance of retaking the tempo versus aggressive decks. Because you can trade this, get a 3/3 on your side, hopefully have an Animal Companion coming soon, and hope for the best. Other than that, mostly turn 4 is going to be playing Secrets, because you don't really have any other 4-cost spells. These are all the minions that Flanking Strike can deal with that are in the meta today, or I think will be in the meta. So this is the kind of power that it brings. Just Dustbreaker, which is Hunter's, the biggest thing that's going to hold Hunter back this expansion is the fact that Dustbreaker exists. Green Jelly, which I think is a fun card, so I put it in, but I don't think it's going to be good. Then boom, Flanking Strike over them all. Lesser Emerald Spellstone, speaking of Dustbreaker, The sick part about this is that it's so easy to get up to its maximum. I think it's probably the easiest one if you build at all towards secrets. So, but it's also the easiest one to counter. 5 mana, 12 worth of stats is wild, but Dustbreaker exists. Pint-sized Potion, Shadow Word Horror, Dragonfire, Kazaka's Potions, Spreading Plague, which gets better because it comes down, Defile, which is super easy to get up to 3 damage, Lightning Storm, and finally Psychic Scream, which not only does it get them all off the field, it puts them in your deck. So even if that's the only thing that Psychic Scream is dealing with, it turns off your synergy until you draw 4 different cards. So, not the best card. I still run one of them because I think versus tempo decks, 3/3 like worth of wolves, or 12/12 worth of wolves rather, will be ridiculous. Explosive Shot has some hypothetical good situations. All of these guys, it's strong versus the top row. You should be able to get 2. The middle row, like very powerful guys, you see a lot, and then Cobalt Scalebane, obviously. So all these guys, Explosive Shot should be good at too. But then we come to Bone Mare, which you can kill the Bone Mare, but whatever it gets buffed, you can't really deal with. And you have to use 5 mana to just deal with half of its effect, or 2/3 of its effect. And then Bitter Tide Hydra, which comes down on 5. You need to, if you have 5 mana, you want to deal with the Bitter Tide Hydra, and this just doesn't move the needle at all. The main reason I don't run Explosive Shot in my deck is Prince Keleseth, because all of these guys that we looked at earlier, all of these 5 health minions that are premium and are going to show up a lot, are now out of Explosive Shot range. If Keleseth for some reason drops out of the meta, Explosive Shot will become much better. Might end up running it then, but still, there's just better ways to spend your mana. Now, Animal Companion is your best 3-drop, and hypothetically would be where you start coming back on the board if you draw exactly correct. For 3 mana, you get so much value, and it can make such a huge impact on the board. Now, Call of the Wild, it's just overcosted a bit. I don't think you can put it into your hand, but if you put it into your deck rather, but if you can get it off a random pull, you're gonna be super happy. It's so strong. But if only there was something right in between these 2 cards, like a 6 mana, draw 2 of them. Oh, it's glorious, it's beautiful, to my side. So this is the ultimate meme card. I actually think it's better than people say. I think getting 2 Animal Companions is a very strong result. I do think that this deck has obvious, large, glaring inefficiencies that we've looked at already, with weak 1-drop, weak 2-drop, good 3-drop, but you only have 2 of them, good 4-drop, but you only have 2 of them, weakish 5-drops till you get to the 6-drop. So if the deck draws perfectly, it can beat some decks, but until it gets better turn 1 and turn 2 spells, I think To My Side is too much of a detriment to be run. But that's hard to say because there's an even better synergy than To My Side. Deathstalker Rexar, very good card. Very good card. Everybody knows about it. I don't need to explain it anymore. It will just give you beasts to hopefully outvalue some of the value decks. It will be a reason why this deck might work in the future. Crushing Walls seems like it sucks, but it actually matches up pretty well to Bone Mare, which often gets played on an empty board with a minion. Or Yusharge, which often played in Big Druid and Big Priest, and pulls 1 minion, and then you kill them both. Very good, possibly. It's obviously strictly worse than Psychic Scream. It can be played around if you're too far behind, and that's going to be a big issue for this deck. Now we're going to deal with the weapons. These two weapons suck. I go into it more in my other video, but I don't think that they have a place in any deck that's not in Arena. Candle Shot, I think, is pretty good. I think Candle Shot is one of the stronger cards for Hunter in this expansion. You're going to be playing it on 100% of the time you draw it, and going to be getting as much value as you can from it. It'll also draw out some weapon removal, which is good. Eaglehorn Bow, you run a ton of secrets. It's going to be up for a long time. Like, it's just a good weapon. And then Rock Dalar. This is what makes this deck almost usable. This is Lyra, Radiant Elemental, all in one. You're going to get a ton of cards, and a ton of them you'll be like, oh, that's not that good. But then you'll see that not having to use a card for it, and then getting this, like a Toxic Shot, and being able to play it on a 3/3 for free, and trading into a 9/9, and you'll be like, that's sweet. That you got to do this random thing this one time. It's just like Lyra, where you see the use for all these useless spells, which you would never put in your deck because they aren't good enough to be put in your deck. So this is my list. This was a much shortened version of a 45-minute rant that I've done, I think, 4 times. But I don't think this deck is going to be good enough to be played competitively. They need more early game tools to either come back or to get the tempo advantage from the beginning, because there's so many mana levels where you really struggle. This has been Dr. Feelgood. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.